This FeiyuTech Scorp Mini is basically an all-in-one gimbal for any light setup. Right now I'm filming on an A7S III with a 24mm f2.8, so it's super small and light, perfect for this gimbal. I can switch to my phone, my action camera, and even a point-and-shoot camera. So what about something heavier? My main setup is the A7S III with the 16-35 GM. I would say it can balance and it can work, but it feels like I'm pushing the motors to its limits. So personally, I don't feel comfortable using that setup on this gimbal, and because of the big lens, the back of the gimbal does hit the viewfinder. FeiyuTech does have a wireless follow focus attachment, which is great for the ones who do those manual focusing, but I feel like nowadays, a lot of these cameras do have great autofocusing, so for me, I typically stay in that mode. They also sent me a vertical phone attachment, which is great if you're strictly shooting on TikToks or IG Reels. Yes, you can actually change the orientation on the gimbal itself, but with this vertical attachment, you're basically skipping a step every time you turn this gimbal on, so you're technically shooting or creating content faster. The motors feel very smooth, and I can switch camera modes if I want to within the gimbal. There is a screen on the back, which I really like, and it's very easy to use. And now I just like how I don't need to connect to a phone just to change certain modes or little things about it. For the ones who use the gimbals with their apps, it does take some time to connect to the phone and connect to the gimbal. And it does take a process and it's annoying. Now that I can do whatever on the back of the screen, I can just skip that step. I'm faster at shooting. I don't really use the main app for any of these gimbals at all. So it's nice to be able to just to change modes and see or do certain things on the gimbal without the app. For ergonomics, I really like where everything is placed, especially if you're right-handed, because my finger can easily reach the on and off button. Of course, the trigger button, the FPV button, I can easily reach with my thumb, which is something I use very commonly. I can switch it back and forth to whatever mode I was and then FPV. Now for the knob, I really like that addition because I can easily do these little micro adjustments. Like right now, I can just tilt it a little bit if I needed to. I don't need to like use the joystick on the back anymore. I can do it right here in front of me. I can switch to tilt or roll if I want to. So everything ergonomically is placed nicely. Now for heavier setups, I do own the Gimbal S, so anything like the 16-35 or like the 24-70 with the A7S III. But now that I'm shooting a lot more with phone cameras and lighter setups, especially when I'm traveling, this is something I would lean towards than the Gimbal S. Since I use ArcaSwiss everything, my favorite low-key feature about this gimbal is the quick release plate. It's ArcaSwiss compatible. A lot of the gimbals I've used are not ArcaSwiss compatible, or if it is, it's only compatible with the plate provided in the set. With this gimbal, I can use the one provided that they gave me, but right now I'm using the one from Peak Design. So what are the things I don't like about this gimbal? It's kind of hard because this is a good gimbal and it's not perfect. If I had to nitpick, the only thing I don't like is the tightening knobs. I feel like just with the expense of the gimbal and with some tripods, once you reach to the other end when you're untightening it, it kind of feels like it gets stuck. I do wish that this gimbal can handle heavier or bigger camera loads like my 16-35. That would probably make it even better because I can just bring this gimbal anywhere with me. Would I recommend this gimbal? Yeah, if you use light setups with multiple devices, then this is the only gimbal you would probably need. If you're shooting with your phone, GoPro, point and shoot, and even a mirrorless with a light setup like I'm using right now, yeah, it's a no-brainer. This is something definitely that's worth it. So those are my impressions about this gimbal. If you do want to know more about this, I do have all the links down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.